I realized that these people aren't just protesting Story Hour, they're protesting my existence.
Hi, welcome to Famous Cast Words. I'm Lynn Marie Rosenberg. I am here today with Ms. Jade, AKA Davon Chance. You might know Ms. Jade as a dancer, teacher, event host, reader with Drag Story Hour, or legend of the New York drag scene. You might not know her as a backup dancer for Randy Jones of the Village People, or as we all know him, the Cowboy. Amazing.
Yes.
Where did the persona of Ms. Jade come from, and when did you start doing drag?
I was a part of an LGBTQ youth group called Center Lane in Westchester. And the youth director had a talent show, a coffee house that they put on monthly. And he literally pointed to me and 3 other queer babes and was like, you 4, you're all gonna do drag and you're all doing Lady Marmalade. And then he gave us all our own names and he said, I'm giving you Jade because you're shady. And then he turns the lights on and off. And I was like, what's shade? I was like all of 16 years old. I was like, what's shade? What is that? I don't know what that is.
So it's interesting that this person just decided you were going to do drag. I mean, it's a very particular skill set. It's a very particular thing to want to do, but it seems to have worked out for you.
Yeah, I never thought I would ever do drag. I was like raised pretty religious in a Pentecostal household.
Yeah.
I would never ever fathom, like getting in front of people, performing in makeup, wigs, heels. But I did it that one time and had a blast and then picked it back up in college and never stopped.
What sort of performances might we see Ms. Jade perform at?
I'm a very versatile queen, so you'll find me everywhere. I host a drag bingo where I perform, have some really awesome prizes. I perform at a lot of dark, dingy Brooklyn bars.
Yep.
I perform at outdoor sports bars in Williamsburg. And yesterday I performed at a high school.
Cool.
So you can find me anywhere and everywhere. She's versatile. She switches it up. Yeah. Give me a stage. Give me some sound and we're good to go. Yeah.
God, I'm a dancer. Dancer dances.
Yes.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Who? Just kidding.
No. I love that because I was going to say RuPaul's Drag Race has brought drag into sort of a commercialized public scene, right? And with visibility can come backlash. How have you seen this incredible popularity of RuPaul's Drag Race shift the drag scene in New York and then broadly in the United States?
I think what's cool is that it's brought drag into people's homes.
Yeah.
Like now we're seeing a lot more advertising and marketing with drag performers, which I think is awesome. And it's also kind of made us a little bit more of a target.
That's right.
As well. So definitely roses and thorns, I'll say.
Yeah. Have you felt yourself targeted, or in the New York market, do you feel like there's a little more safety here?
I would say there's a little more safety here. However, I don't want to pretend like we're safe. We're not
Yeah.
safe, Like, even if I took a cab, it's not always safe.
Right. What does drag mean to you?
Drag is an art form. So
Yeah.
for me, art is a way that I can express myself, the range of emotions that I'm feeling. And it's definitely an outlet, and it can be very, very emotional and spiritual. And for a lot of people, they figure out who they are, like what they want to do in their life, like even their gender,
Yeah.
their gender expression. And for a lot of people, like for me, it allowed me to come to terms with the duality of my masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
And to give myself permission to play both in and out of drag with my gender expression. I want to tell you a story.
You are a reader with Drag Story Hour,
I am.
one of my favorite organizations in the city. I wonder if you could tell us what it is for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, we are readers, storytellers who go into schools and libraries. We go anywhere, actually. I've read in parks, I've read in churches, shelters,
Yeah.
schools, and we read awesome books, sing songs, dance, and we are just like unabashedly queer and incredible role models.
Yeah.
And I always open it to questions from the youth and the families, and that's
Yeah.
always an option too, so they get to know me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did a story hour in Brooklyn, and one of the kids asked, "Why are you here?" You know, kids will just say whatever
It's a
they want.
big question.
And I love it. And the first thing out of my mouth was, "I think it's important for people like me to take up as much space as possible."
Oh, I love that.
And I came to read and sing to you. Bam.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It was the first thing that came to my head because I didn't grow up with any kind of queer representation whatsoever. So for me, I always felt very alone.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of parents, they might also just love drag, but they also want to show their kids that there's so many different kinds of people
Yeah.
and that we should know who they are and we should make space for them and we should like get to know them.
In case anyone is under a rock and doesn't know, can you tell us what's been going on with Drag Story Hour in the last like year or 2 years or so and the protests that have been popping up?
I think because drag is becoming a lot more popularized and Drag Story Hour is really blown up, it's just obvious that a lot of people don't want us to exist
We're here to protect and save the kids.
or to be reading books to children. So we're having a lot of protesters, a lot of bullying, a lot of harassment online. I know for myself, I was doing Story Hour virtually during lockdown. And I was also at the same time offering donation-based dance classes and allowing anyone to just join them. And people were seeing the story hours that I was performing at or reading at and following me and then going into my Instagram live during my classes and saying really transphobic, homophobic, and racist things. Meanwhile, this is my safe space that I'm curating
That's
for my
right.
students. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't think people understand that we're actually what my goal is to do is to create a safe space where people can like question, explore, where I can exist without where everyone can exist without shame.
Yeah.
And instead, when we were virtual, we had to change things a bit, but it was very easy for people to come into those safe spaces and pollute them.
Our mutual friend, Queen Cholula Lemon, I saw her do one when it first came to New York, I mean, years and years ago. And I was there and just thought, everyone should be attending, not even just kids, everyone should be attending a Drag Story Hour.
I agree. And although the books are very much sometimes center those kinds of people, that's not like the main thing about the book.
Yeah.
I think it really humanizes the characters and it makes them relatable. Like, yes, this person might be Black, trans, and neurodivergent, but that's not the end all be all of the book. It's about like maybe how the family can show up and support
Yeah.
and how seeing the people around you is important and expressing your needs and wants and desires is important and showing up, being a good friend, being a good community member. It's so interesting, like all like people will use kind of religious rhetoric as well on like why what we're doing is bad, but we're actually teaching the good word, honey. Like
Yeah.
we're literally talking about like community, love, friendship. Yeah, it's all like beautiful morals that are found in all children's books.
That's right. Are there any moments with Drag Story Hour where you're working with these kids that really stick out to you as a particularly lovely or surprising moment from that experience?
Yeah, I when the youth are enjoying themselves, but also when the adults are like really in it. I think a really intense moment for me was at one of the story hours that I did that was protested. And again, I realized like I had to walk through the episode of these families, and we can't pretend like we didn't all just go through that experience. So for me, I started that story hour with like a breathing, a co-regulating exercise so that we can all just like, I brought attention. I was like, that was intense outside, right? All right, I feel some kind of way about it. Let's all stand up. Let's breathe through this together because we're gonna be here for an hour and I wanna make sure that we feel good in the space. So I did that, did the reading, did my songs, felt really good. And a mom was there with her two sons and they were very, very into the books and answering my questions. And it was just so sweet. And at the end, she came up to me and just told me that she's just so happy that we were here and how important it is for her sons to like experience this. And then she started crying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, here we go. Hold it together, girl. Because I don't know why she cried. She was just happy that we were there, but also like, I never know what people are experiencing in their day-to-day life, like what they're questioning, the spaces that they're trying to hold for themselves or their kids.
Yeah.
And even just like outside what had to walk through, that's traumatic.
Yeah.
So it could have just been like heavy energy like that, but she thanked me for being there. We had like a little cry moment and hugged each other, and she's just happy that her sons get to experience something like this, and she's just so grateful the space that I curated for them. And that was just really beautiful and nice, specifically because during that reading, I realized that these people aren't just protesting Story Hour, they're protesting my existence.
That's right.
And for me, that was really heavy, and I couldn't drop that. So for someone to see me, see what we're doing, and be appreciative and joyful that we're there, and for it to move them like that, it really moved me as well. The heels on the track, we go click, 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 all through the track.
So now we'll look at some language from breakdowns. Now, Ms. Jade, I would hope a queen such as yourself does not have to subject herself to breakdowns. So for anyone who doesn't know, as a reminder, a breakdown is a little bit of text from film, television, commercials, or theater that helps in the process of casting. Now, Ms. Jade, I thought today I would look for what sort of language pops up for drag roles, gender fluid roles, and black femme roles.
Okay.
Apparently, according to some content makers, having actual professional experience with the art form of drag is a plus, but not a must.
Ideally, looking for someone that has drag experience. Ideally, an actively performing drag queen.
And some of them don't seem entirely clear on who exactly they're looking for, like this language for all the same character.
Femme presenting, men comfortable in drag, transgender men, any gender.
Tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
it's like, if you're a person, that's a person. That's not a person. That might be an alien, but might be a person. Yes.
The descriptions of personalities for drag roles may not be surprising.
Big personality, volatile, over the top. Oh, okay.
But I discovered repeatedly that the same exact language recurs for femme gender fluid roles as well.
A lot of sass, sarcastic, blunt, simmering, sometimes explosive anger. Okay. Oh, wow.
Monolith, just a monolith of a person.
I feel called out.
But that is only when the gender fluid roles are allowed to speak, because mostly the words gender fluid or gender queer show up here.
Ensemble, core ensemble, dance ensemble.
We want you, we just don't want you up front.
Oh my God. Get it to the back.
That's right. When I searched for the words black femme in the New York market, I got a handful of really well-written roles. But when I searched those words in the LA market, I got this,
There are no breakdowns matching your search.
which suggests to me that Hollywood has a long way to go. To put it in the words of one of those well-written New York roles, black femme and gender fluid characters are
Overqualified but unseen. She is over being invisible.
That's right. Over it.
Over it, honey. It's like, these are just gross. If you're looking for a drag performer for a role, get a drag performer. Someone can sit in a chair and be put into a look, totally.
Right.
But like, you won't get the essence of a drag performer.
That's right. Yeah. And the ones for gender fluid, you know, it to me, if it were just one role that you were describing as simmering with anger or whatever it is, then fine. But where it's over and over again that, you know, the gender fluid roles are always going to be these same monolith people, it's so frustrating to me.
Yeah, I guess we know what they think of us now.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Very angry.
Yeah.
Very sassy.
Yeah.
Ready to explode. Yeah.
It's like, a gender fluid person could be quiet and introverted as well. And, but that's not what the trope that we're showing on
Yeah.
television over and over again,
Exactly.
or film, whatever. Yeah.
Very that.
Very that.
Very that.
There is a docuseries that you're in called Queens of Kings, and there's a whole episode about you. And in it, a white drag performer mentions how they feel perhaps they got a leg up because of racial bias in the drag world. Is that something you've experienced and that you face?
Totally. And yeah, I think if we think about these bars and these establishments that we work for, they're often being ran by white people, sometimes queer, sometimes straight. And I definitely think there is a lot of racism within the queer community, and often you would see, not so much anymore because people call it out, but you'll see an all-white cast of performers. Like there'll be 8 performers and there won't be one person of color. People pointed out, people were like, wait, where are the brown and black people? And like, why for a fundraiser? One of my nightlife friends, like, told me, and was just like, I felt really embarrassed, but I was talking to this patron who was like mad that we didn't have more POC in the cast, like, for this fundraiser. And I'm like, okay, rightfully so. And then instead of like hearing the patron out and being like, oh, you're right, we should be doing better, their response was, well, there's not that many of them out there anyway. And I was like, girl, Miss Girl.
It does sound like casting. This is exactly what I've been fighting for the last 10 years. Yeah.
And she said, like, as soon as I said that, I really just like, I knew I like kicked myself. And I was like, yeah, because there are so many of us, but you just might not see us.
Right.
Or you might not frequent the spaces that we're at. Or you might just book us to be that closing number in this cast of white artists, white drag performers. That seems to be like something that I see a lot, is that when people do cast a token black drag queen, they're closing the number, they're not allowed to be on the mic. They are expected to be the dancing black queen that brings down the house. Maybe they're doing a high upbeat Beyonce number, and that's what they're for. They're used to like spice up the night. They're used to like allow the white performers to kind of like phone it in or do something funny or experiment, explore. It's interesting. Yeah, there's definitely some racism, some favoritism, and microaggressions within the community.
Yeah.
For sure.
We all have a long way to go.
And it's even worse when it comes from inside the community. Call us coming from inside the house.
During the pandemic, you were involved with a campaign called The Real Misinformation.
Yes.
Can you tell us what that was and what your role was with it?
That was a campaign with Gay Men's Health Crisis and FCB Health to get more people, specifically queer people and queer people of color, to get vaccinated and kind of push away all the misinformation that's going around on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and shut it down and bring some light to the truth. So instead of being Miss Jade, I was the real misinformation. The only thing spreading faster than COVID is misinformation about the vaccine. Get the facts about the vax. They noticed that a lot of queer people, specifically in the Black community, just were very, very hesitant to the vaccine, and rightfully so, in my opinion. So we had all of those things. We also had town hall meetings where we talked with therapists, journalists, doctors about the vaccine. We just wanted people to be informed, kind of shoot down the misinformation that was going on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and speak the truth about what's going on and the vaccine itself. Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, could you please tell us why people might be resistant to vaccine?
For many, many reasons. The medical field literally would experiment on Black bodies, and expose Black people, Black communities to diseases just to see what would happen, just to explore for tests, And the same with queer people. And we can't pretend that when the AIDS and HIV epidemic surfaced, the medical world, the government didn't really protect and make moves to assure that the communities would go on living.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some resentment and hesitation from the Black and queer community with the medical world. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Ms. Jade, I think we have sat still long enough. I think it is time to get up and move.
Okay.
We're going to leave this couch and head off for some special skills.
All right.
Get ready.
Here we go.
We have arrived at special skills. As a reminder, at the bottom of every actor's resume, there is a section called special skills, and that's where their talents and other interests appear. Ms. Jade, what special skill will we be looking at today?
We are going to be dancing, so you're going to be learning some choreography.
I cannot wait. Listen, I was in a dance group in college called the Fly People. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's been a while since I danced. We're gonna see what happens. Don't break me. I am 42 years old.
Gotcha. You'll be okay. You'll survive. I promise.
Okay, all right.
Should we warm up a little
Let's
bit?
do a little bit warm up. I do realize that I often do very strange things with my mouth when I dance.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. Costume change.
Oh, yeah.
So you're feeling a little warm now?
I'm warm, yes.
We're gonna start low. I do teach children, so I like to use a lot of dance imagery.
Great.
So we are going to reach for our feet and put on our socks. Reach for our feet, socks. Reach for our feet, sneakers. Reach for our feet, sneakers. And the accent's gonna be up,
Great.
up, up. We're gonna jump our legs open. Boom. But when we do that, we're gonna roll our wrist up to the ceiling at the same time. So that jump and the wrists are gonna happen at the same time. Boom. Nice.
Great.
Let's reverse those arms all the way down. Boom. Right shoulder is gonna pull, pull, pull. Yes, okay. All right, okay. Come on, fly person. So after that 7, 8, we're gonna jump and we're gonna squeeze our right leg over our left. Boom. I'm kind of cheating this a little bit. I'm gonna think about squeezing my legs together. My right toe is lifted, my left heel is lifted. And I'm going to squeeze and turn over my left shoulder. We're gonna close our legs to married men. Boom.
To married men.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The right arm is gonna be on your chest. The left arm is gonna be to your side. And they're doing fists, but we're gonna bring back that isolation that we did earlier with the chest. So we're just gonna go chest, chest. Hey, there you go. But when we do that, the hands are gonna kind of pulse a little bit and or tense. So then go open, open at the same time. Oh, okay. Right after that, we are facing this diagonal, but we're gonna do what you probably already know from your fly people.
From my days.
Your days as a fly person. We're gonna do 2 kickball changes. Kickball change is 3 steps. So we're gonna kick our right leg out, kick, together. Left leg is gonna touch to the side. And now this left leg is free, so that leg is gonna kick to the front. Same thing, together, side. Let's keep doing that. Okay. Kick, together, side. I almost fell. Kick, together, side. Kick, ball, change. Kick, ball, change. Kick, ball, change.
This comes
Nice.
from your
There we
musical
go.
theater
Yeah.
background. I'm sorry, Mom.
How are we feeling? Do we want to do that one more time without music, or we want to go right for
Stream
music? Feel it out, groove it.
We're gonna do it.
Keep it buoyant.
Keep it
5,
buoyant.
6, 7, 8.
Here I am, catch me if you can, or you keep on running. If you want somebody to love, you better keep it real. Here I am, catch me if you can, if you want my loving. Cause I don't want nothing if you ain't got nothing to feel. You wanna see my eyes, hypnotized, get in line, baby, you are fine enough.
You're gonna get one of these.
Okay, let's go for it.
You wanna bring it on to
Classic
the break of
drive.
dawn. Do you think you're strong, strong for long enough? So smooth.
You have been prom queen multiple years for Queer Prom that happens during Pride. Can you tell us about that event?
That event is hosted by Hot Rabbit. they host really incredible queer parties in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And they thought it would be super cool to do a queer prom annually, and they do it every year during Pride Month. It's awesome. I love it. It's fun.
To me, traditional proms, I think, are often places where queer kids or kids with gender expansive identities can feel excluded. And so I wonder, how important does queer prom feel to you, not just as a fun event, but sort of as a more meaningful thing?
I feel like having a queer prom for queer people feels very safe. You feel very seen. You know, like I know so many people who were not able to bring a date of their choice that they really that really aligned with their orientation. So having a queer prom, a gay prom, just allows us the space to connect with the people that we want to, like, you know, maybe like love up on or dance up on the people that we want to be loving up and dancing on without any like side eye or any shame, any like, you know, fingers wagging at us, you know, like, so I think that's really awesome that we've had that so many times. Also at Center Lane, that LGBT youth center I used to go to, we had gay prom every year. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, Miss Jade, I see you. We've talked a lot about being seen. I saw you back in 2017, and you have not left my heart since. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Take care of each other and be professional.